The Red Prince stands stunned when he sees the woman you were about to address.
It is she. The woman I've dreamt of since birth. The secret of my soul, my sweet lady, it is an honor.
Sure, if we wanted to get eaten by a bleeding void.
He approaches her, goes down on one knee, and courteously kisses her hand.
That giant lizard was
You do not disappoint, my prince. You are every bit the gentleman they said you'd be. How very pleasurable, is it not, to finally meet in the flesh? For it is very much in the flesh that we must meet after all. Become one. Oh, Father. Life shaper. That is what the goddess called you. How good of you, dear prince, that you have come to shape life in me.
He stands up and scrapes his throat, but before he can say anything, she silences him by sliding her hand in his. She looks at you for the first time with a look of understated condescension that could rival the Red Prince's own.
I am Sada, Princess of the House of Law. And you interrupt the destined union between the Red Prince and the Red Princess.
Softly, she moves her body against his, puts her arms around his neck, her mouth hot against his ear.
Let's forget for a moment all the forces that drove us here. Shall we, my prince? Let us think of nothing but ourselves. One amid a nest of satin. You and I, we know each other like only true lovers do. So at long last, let us become lovers.
By my empire, yes. At long last, we shall become lover. Quite. Why don't you, enjoy a nice stroll? A nice, long stroll, while the lady and I enjoy a more private moment.
Sada smiles at him so endearingly, it almost melts your heart.
Come, my prince. Let's retire to that satin nest of mine. Follow me.
Sada and the Red Prince enter the wagon, close the door behind them. Nothing for it but to wait until they re-emerge. A sound reaches you from the wagon, some kind of moan. You take a step closer. The sound becomes more pronounced. There's definitely moaning going on, but what kind of moaning? You place an ear against the wagon, and you listen. Oh my, yes, there's no doubt about it now. You have all the empirical evidence you needed to conclude these are very much moans of ecstasy. Which leads you to deduce both of the wagon's inhabitants are, in fact, quite safe. Feeling rightfully relieved and satisfied to have done your duty, you can't help but notice one of the window shutters stands ajar. You stand on your toes and look into the window. Golly, interesting to see the beast with two backs and two tails from a rather different vantage point. Holy, how are they doing that? You wonder if... Uh-oh. Sada is looking you right in the eyes, and she seems none too pleased. There's a hustle and a bustle and a rush of naked bodies. Next thing you know, the Red Prince has opened the window, grabbed you by the collar, and lifted you up into the air.
What in the name of Damien's demon-kissed arse do you think you're doing?
Looking very surprised, he's clearly taken aback by this admission on your part. We'll
talk about this later.
Without a further word, the Red Prince releases his grip and you fall to the ground with a rather hard thud. Overhead, you hear him close the shutters with a bang. Spoil sport. Several hours later, Sada and the Red Prince exit the wagon hand in hand. He glares at you and is about to say something when you suddenly witness a group of lizards appearing as if out of nowhere. Their commander is a vile-looking lizard, his face the very definition of mischief. Chuckling, he addresses the couple.
Well, 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 look who's coming up for air. Mighty powerful noises I heard coming from that there carriage. Teensy bit jealous I am.
Silence! You will bow before us and explain this intrusion, or by the Seven I will cut you down where you stand.
My oh my, you didn't tell Loverboy anything, did you, Dollface? Naughty, naughty. You've been played for a fool, little prince. She's sworn to another. That's right. Your boo is betrothed to a very different kind of king. All she needed from you was a dollop of prophecy juice. I dare say she got it.
You utter villain!
Oh, well spoken. Advice I will duly follow.
The Red Prince gently cups Sada's face in his hands.
Sadha, my sweet, our meeting has been shrouded in mystery, but know that I'll do right by you. Know that I love you.
And I love you. Together we will brave it all. Even the king.
Oh, ain't that as sweet as a bowl full of peaches? Hate to be that guy, but I gotta break up the party now. Time for you and your belly full of litter to crawl back to the king, darling. Gonna get me some private time with Prince Charming myself.
The Red Prince fondles a satin handkerchief, his face a scowl, his eyes two ember spectres.
She gave me this handkerchief. Something to remember her by. Who would have thought so soon would come our parting? The longing of a lifetime squeezed into a few short hours of perfection, only to end with blood and bereavement. I will, won't I? Thank you.
He hugs you back. The embrace lasts and keeps lasting. When you finally pull away, you can tell he's somewhat embarrassed, but he smiles at you warmly nonetheless.
We've become very good friends, haven't we? Even if you are a peeping Tom.
He looks at you sternly, for all the world like a schoolmaster lecturing an errant brat.
You know very damn well what happened in that wagon. All I can hope is that the encounter is etched into your mind, for what you saw was the conception of a new world. Not to mention an unparalleled lesson in lovemaking. But do tell me, what did you mean when you said you were jealous of Sadher?
He looks at you incredulously, but then you spy a tenderness in his eyes.
I had no idea that you felt this way. Let me try something.
He leans in, and your lips ever so lightly meet. Feeling you reciprocate, the Red Prince kisses you passionately.
My. Talk about still waters. Can't wait to find out how deep you run. The Council of the Seven and the powers of divinity call us. Let's heed them, shall we?